Life is full of challenges, and sometimes the hardest part is accepting the truths we'd rather ignore. But here's the thing, running from reality doesn't make life easier. It just makes it harder to find real happiness. That's why today, we're going to talk about something important. 5 harsh truths you need to accept to live a happy life, inspired by the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. If you've ever felt frustrated, stuck, or even lost in life, you're not alone. We all struggle with situations that seem unfair, people who let us down, or even our own inability to find lasting happiness. But what if the problem isn't the situation itself? What if the problem is how we think about it? That's where the ancient Stoics come in. Think of them as life coaches from 2,000 years ago, teaching us how to navigate life's ups and downs with clarity and strength. In this video, we're going to explore 5 hard-to-swallow truths about life, truths that most people avoid. But instead of feeling defeated by them, you'll learn how to embrace these truths, grow stronger, and ultimately find peace in any situation. These lessons are not just about surviving life. They're about thriving in it, no matter what comes your way. So, grab a cup of coffee or tea, find a comfortable spot, and get ready to rethink how you see the world. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with powerful insights and practical advice to start living a happier, more fulfilling life today. Let's dive in. The first truth might sting a little, but it's one of the most important lessons you'll ever learn. Number 1. Life is unfair. Life isn't fair. That's a hard truth to swallow, but the sooner we accept it, the easier our lives become. From a young age, we're told to play fair, to expect fair treatment in return. But here's the reality. The world doesn't follow those rules. Bad things happen to good people. Hardworking individuals might not always get the rewards they deserve. Meanwhile, others who seem to do less may get ahead. It feels frustrating, doesn't it? Let's imagine a situation. You've been working tirelessly at your job, staying late, going the extra mile, and delivering results. Then, one day, the promotion you've been hoping for goes to someone else. Someone who seems less qualified, less committed, and maybe even less likable. It's like a punch to the gut. You start asking yourself, why did this happen? What did I do wrong? Here's the thing, you didn't do anything wrong. The Stoics remind us that fairness is a human expectation, not a universal law. The world doesn't owe you anything just because you worked hard or followed the rules. Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic philosopher, advised us to stop expecting the world to behave the way we want it to. Instead, focus on how you choose to respond when life feels unfair. Think about this for a moment. If fairness isn't guaranteed, what's within your control? Your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude. That's it. You can't control who gets the promotion, but you can control how you handle it. You can choose to stay bitter and let it consume you, or you can learn from the situation and keep moving forward. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is a reminder that your power lies in your response. Feeling frustrated is normal, but dwelling on it won't help. Instead, use this as a chance to grow stronger and wiser. Next time life feels unfair, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to improve my situation? What lesson can I learn from this? When you stop expecting fairness and start focusing on what you can control, you'll find a sense of freedom and inner peace. That's how you turn life's unfairness into a strength. Number 2. People will let you down. Have you ever felt deeply disappointed by someone you trusted? Maybe it was a friend who didn't show up when you needed them the most, or a family member who broke a promise. That feeling stings, doesn't it? It's easy to take it personally and start questioning yourself. Was I not good enough? Or why did they do this to me? But here's a Stoic truth you need to embrace. People will let you down. It's not because they're out to hurt you or because you don't matter. It's because they're human just like you, and humans are flawed. The Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, had a unique way of looking at this. He said, when someone wrongs you, ask yourself what human nature demands of them. In other words, people act according to their nature, their circumstances, and their own struggles. sometimes their actions have nothing to do with you at all. Think about it this way. Have you ever made a promise you couldn't keep? Maybe you forgot, got overwhelmed, or just didn't know how to say no. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, right? You're human. So when someone else falls short, try to extend the same understanding to them. Now, this doesn't mean you have to tolerate repeated disrespect or betrayal. Stoicism isn't about becoming a doormat. Instead, it's about setting realistic expectations. Expect people to make mistakes because they will. When they do, instead of feeling crushed, you'll feel prepared. For example, let's say your friend promised to help you move, but they cancel last minute. Instead of dwelling on the disappointment, take a step back and ask yourself, was my happiness tied to their actions? Could I have had a backup plan? The Stoic approach shifts the focus back to what you can control, your response. This mindset doesn't just protect you from disappointment. It strengthens your relationships. When you stop expecting perfection, you free yourself from constant frustration. You can approach others with patience and empathy, knowing they're doing the best they can with what they have. So, the next time someone lets you down, pause. Remind yourself that their actions are a reflection of them, not you. Forgive when it's appropriate, learn when it's necessary, and most importantly, don't let their shortcomings steal your peace. Number 3. Happiness is your responsibility. Let's talk about something that hits close to home for a lot of us. Happiness. We all want it, but how often do we find ourselves looking for it in the wrong places? We chase after things, people, or circumstances thinking that they will be the key to our happiness. Maybe it's a new job, a bigger house, a better relationship, or even just more likes on social media. But here's the truth. Happiness is not something you can find outside of yourself. The Stoics believe that happiness is not a result of what happens to you, but how you choose to respond to life. It's about finding peace and contentment no matter what your circumstances are. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts," and that's a powerful reminder. It's not about external things, but how you view and interpret your life. If you want to be happy, you need to take full responsibility for your happiness. Think about it. We often expect happiness to come from something outside ourselves. We say, "I'll be happy when I get that promotion," or "I'll feel better once I have the new car I've been dreaming about." But what happens when those things don't bring the happiness we expected? Or worse, when they are taken away from us? Suddenly, we're left feeling unfulfilled and frustrated. That's because true happiness doesn't depend on anything external. It comes from within. The Stoics taught us to focus on what we can control. You can't control other people's actions, you can't control the economy, you can't control the weather, but you can control your response. That's where your power lies. When you stop waiting for happiness to come from something outside yourself and start taking responsibility for your own peace of mind, you become unstoppable. One simple way to start taking control of your happiness is through daily gratitude. When you wake up each morning, take a moment to think about 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Sometimes it's as simple as being thankful for a warm bed or a good cup of coffee. The more you focus on gratitude, the more you train your mind to look for the good in your life instead of what's missing. Another key practice the Stoics recommend is negative visualization. This might sound strange, but hear me out. By imagining the worst-case scenario, you actually train your mind to appreciate what you have in the present moment. It's about recognizing that happiness isn't guaranteed, and that's okay. By accepting this, you learn to savor the good moments while they last. So remember, happiness isn't something you wait for. It's something you create. By shifting your mindset, focusing on gratitude, and taking responsibility for your happiness, you'll start to see a massive change in how you experience life. Don't rely on external factors. The power to be happy is always in your hands. Number 4. You will lose things. One of the toughest truths we have to face in life is that everything we have, we will eventually lose. It's hard to accept, but it's something every Stoic teaches us to come to terms with. This includes things we hold dear, our health, our possessions, and even the people we love. Nothing in life is permanent, And the Stoics believed that understanding this truth is one of the keys to living a peaceful, happy life. Think about your life for a moment. Think about the things or people you cherish the most. Now, imagine losing them. Could be a loved one, your career, or your home. The thought of losing these things can be painful, but here's the important part. By accepting that loss is inevitable, we can learn to appreciate them more. When you understand that nothing lasts forever, it forces you to be more present and value what you have right now. The Stoics weren't suggesting that we should live in fear of loss. Instead, they encouraged us to prepare ourselves mentally for the reality that everything is temporary. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said it perfectly: you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. In other words, knowing that life is fleeting helps us make the most of the time we have. For example, think about your phone. You probably use it every day, and it holds so many things. Photos, messages, memories. But have you ever stopped to think about how easily you could lose it? Maybe it gets stolen or it breaks unexpectedly. When that happens, we often feel the frustration of losing something so important to us. But if you had accepted the possibility of losing it before it happened, you might feel less upset when it does. The same applies to the people we love. We take them for granted, not realizing that our time with them is not guaranteed. Here's where Stoicism really helps. The practice of negative visualization is a great way to prepare for loss. This doesn't mean we should obsess over worst-case scenarios, but it's about mentally rehearsing the idea of losing what we hold dear. The more we accept this reality, the less we fear it. And when that loss does come, we're better equipped to handle it. Imagine for a second that you're saying goodbye to someone you care about. Think of how you would cherish those final moments if you knew they were the last. Now, think of how you can apply that mindset to your relationships, your work, or even your daily experiences. The truth is, if we lived every day like it could be our last, we would probably treat each moment and each person with more gratitude and love. This isn't meant to make you sad or pessimistic. Quite the opposite. The Stoics wanted us to use the reality of loss as a tool to live more fully. By accepting that nothing lasts forever, we stop taking things for granted. We start appreciating what we have in the present and stop wasting time on things that don't truly matter. To sum it up, life's impermanence isn't something to fear, but something to embrace. When you accept that you will lose things, you don't live in fear of loss. You live with more intention, more purpose, and more appreciation for every moment. Number 5. Time is the most precious resource. Let's talk about time, because when you think about it, time is the one thing you can never get back. You might think you have all the time in the world, but the truth is, every second that passes is gone forever. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. Seneca, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, warned us, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Think about that for a second. How often do you find yourself scrolling through social media, binge-watching TV shows, or doing something that doesn't truly add value to your life? We all do it. But here's the thing. Every moment you spend on these things is a moment you'll never get back. And while these activities might feel like a good use of time in the moment, in the bigger picture, they can leave you feeling unfulfilled. This is where the Stoic idea of time management comes into play. The Stoics didn't just let time pass them by. They were intentional with every moment. They understood that time is the most precious resource we have, and they made sure to use it wisely. Ask yourself, how often do you really stop and think about how you're spending your time? If you're like most people, probably not enough. We get caught up in the busyness of life, working, meeting deadlines, running errands, but we often forget to pause and reflect. This is a mistake. Let's take a moment right now. Think about your last week. How much of it was spent on things that truly matter to you? Did you spend time with family? Did you work towards your goals? Or did you let distractions fill up your days? I know this can be uncomfortable to think about, but it's important. If you want to live a truly happy life, you have to take control of your time. One powerful Stoic exercise is to do a weekly audit of your time. At the end of each week, take a moment to reflect. What did I spend my time on? What could I have done differently? Were my actions aligned with my values and goals? This simple practice can help you become more mindful of how you're using your time and help you make better choices moving forward. Now, I'm not saying you should cut out all the fun or relaxation from your life. The Stoics believed in balance. Rest and enjoyment are important for a fulfilling life, but it's about prioritizing. It's about asking yourself, is this the best use of my time right now? If you're always rushing around without giving your time any thought, you'll end up feeling overwhelmed and unsatisfied. Take a look at your life right now. Are you spending time on things that truly matter? Or are you letting time slip through your fingers? The Stoics would remind you that every moment is valuable, and they would encourage you to use your time in a way that brings you closer to the person you want to become. So, the next time you catch yourself wasting time, remember this: time is the one resource you can never get back. Don't let it slip away without thought. Be intentional with how you spend it, and you'll see how much more fulfilling life can be. So, to wrap things up, we've talked about 5 harsh truths that, while uncomfortable, can completely change the way you live your life. Life isn't fair. People will let you down. Happiness is in your hands. Everything is temporary. And time is the most precious thing you have. These aren't just lessons from Stoicism. They're reminders that can help you live a life that's more peaceful, focused, and meaningful. Now, I know these truths can feel heavy at first, but here's the thing. Accepting them is freeing. It takes away the pressure of expecting life to be perfect. It frees you from the need to control things outside your power. And most importantly, it empowers you to take responsibility for your own happiness. Once you start to understand these truths, you'll realize that you're no longer a victim of life's circumstances. You're the creator of your own path. But here's a question for you. Which of these truths do you struggle with the most? Is it accepting that life is unfair? Or is it the fact that people will let you down? Maybe it's the constant fear of losing things or wasting time. Whatever it is, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. Let's talk about it and help each other grow. If you found value in today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're building a community of people who want to live better lives, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. And if you're ready to dive even deeper into Stoic wisdom, check out the rest of the videos on the channel. I'm here to help you on your journey of self-improvement, and together, we can unlock the power of Stoic philosophy to make our lives better. Thank you so much for watching. Stay strong, stay focused, and remember, happiness is yours to create.